Okay, we're back at the helm of the IBM Thinkpad R50e, which you can tell by the price tag that it's not the R40 anyways. Unfortunately, it's not all good news. Start listening with me to work. I can't remember what the day was exactly, but I have a water-resistant bag, or a supposedly water-resistant bag, that I bring with me to work every day, and it was raining. I had an umbrella as well, but being as I am the luckiest thing on the planet, turns out that water-resistant bag is not so water-resistant after all, and my umbrella had a hole in it that I didn't notice until I started using it. I started feeling this thing dripping on my neck. I'm like, what the hell is that? And I have an umbrella. Oh, there's a hole in it. Awesome. But that's not the worst of it. Everything in that bag got soaking wet, which includes both laptops I had in there. Yes, the R50e was one of them, and the R50e took the brunt of it. The optical drive is a DVD multi-drive, and I don't think it survived. I've got it in there for kicks and grins, but it's probably going to do exactly what it did when I brought it home. If it does, I'll include it on video. If it doesn't, I'll include a clip of what it was doing on video. But that's really unfortunate because I can't replace that because it's one of those stupid enhanced optical drives. God, IBM, that was one of their not-so-shining moments there. That was so stupid. Why did they make like multiple components like that weren't compatible with each other? I can't use my regular Ultra Bay drives because they won't fit in here. But that's not the worst of it. Now, if we go ahead and open up the system here, you'll see that the keyboard's different. I had to replace the keyboard. The original keyboard was broken when I picked it up, but it was still serviceable. When I brought it home, the power button was basically stuck, and so were a lot of the other keys. So, that was junk. I couldn't keep it. What's worse is this new keyboard doesn't actually fit the system, because the standoffs are different. Came out of my T42, which is why it's missing this particular key here. I could probably go get a keycap for that, but the scissor switch is ruined, so it's basically worthless. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to be stuck with it, because keyboards for these systems cost about $25 on eBay, shipped from China. So we're not talking about some backwater US seller who's trying to sell it for a profit. We're talking coming from China, it's going to be $25. Yeah, no thank you. No thank you. I'll stick with this, because I don't ever plan on it being a portable system anyways. But I think the worst thing is the display. We'll see if it still looks like it did when I brought it home. Actually, no, it doesn't. It cleared right up. Look at that. And the optical drive even started working again. Maybe. I don't know. Seems kind of, like it might not work. That light shouldn't be constantly on like that. So the optical drive is probably pooched. But you know what? I'm okay, because the system, as you can see, works perfectly fine. Or at least it did. I don't know if it's still going to boot, or anything like that. It was running when I pulled it out of the bag wet. So the fact that it still actually even works as much as it does is a big, big surprise. Yeah, I think this optical drive is pants, because it shouldn't be doing that. But look at this, the system boots right up. I did a couple modifications to the Windows install. See, it's now got my name on it, and a more genericized logo. Go ahead and enter my password here. Are you serious? Oh! Yeah, I have a different password for the system. Wow. Let's try that again, shall we? That works a little better. There still is a little evidence of it in the corner here. There's some pressure marks, but I think those were actually there before. Desktop is cleaned up nicely. This is actually a new, fresh user account. I still have yet to put antivirus software on here. Even the track point works. Wow, I never tested that. In fact, I really haven't tested the system at all. prior to now. But either way, and there you can get a quick look at what is going on with it now. The hotkey stuff is now working. I got that fixed. Turns out the programs actually weren't running on startup for some reason, like they were supposed to. I still have not changed the system registration. I may do that now. But we can see that it is now running Service Pack 3. But we can see that it is now running Service Pack 3. No further upgrades to talk about. I did change the computer name as well, and the work group, from the default, or back to the default in my computer name, away from the full of themselves original owner's name. I don't know quite what they were thinking with that, but whatever. I think they weren't really thinking at all, because they donated a perfectly working laptop with all of their data still on it. I have that data. I saved all of it. I may give them a call, because I have their phone number, and tell them, hey, I got your data. Do you want any of it? But either way, just an example of why you erase your computers before you get rid of them, people. Makes me sick when I see that kind of stuff. Like, come on. I'm happy that it's got a copy of Office on it, so I don't have to go install Office, but still. You don't leave your damn data on your computer. That's just ridiculous. This is going to make a loud noise. I had that when I started up. Come on. Didn't make a loud noise. But if we can see here, we've got a Fujitsu hard drive. I don't know if I mentioned that before. Fujitsu MHT 2040 AT. It's a 40 gigabyte IDE drive. In not so great shape. Surprisingly enough, it does actually still seem to work though. And I'm going to run this for as long as that drive works. And when it stops working, I've got a 20 gigabyte drive I can put in here, no problem. So, whatever, that's no big loss. Okay. But I think that's pretty much it for this video. It was just going to be a short one because I haven't really done much with this yet. I'm not even really sure what all it's going to become, because I'm not really sure what all I want it to become. I could potentially use it as a work machine, but I'm not sure how useful a Windows XP system is going to be at work. So, either way, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. Hope to see you next time. Till then. A couple of updates on the R50e project over here, of which the plate comes separately. Had somebody complain recently that I had a random plate showing up in my video, so I thought I would add one just to make them a little bit more annoyed about what's going on. If you're even watching the video. But anyways, I think I'm going to just end up making this one video, but if I don't, changes that have been made since then. The screen has cleared itself up, but there was a little bit, the system got wet, we'll put it that way. It got so wet that there was actually water that was dripping out of it, and I pulled it out of my bag, which is supposedly water resistant, but I guess it wasn't so water resistant after all. And so I had to replace the keyboard as well, because the keyboard was trashed, and I have actually replaced the optical drive. It doesn't quite fit properly, but it's there, so at least it has an optical drive now. Go ahead and fire it up here. I'm going to do a software installation, and I'll take a look at it in its current status right now. I finished installing all of the updates today, so there's no more updates that this thing will have. And it looks like my camera battery is going to run dead on me after only about a minute of use. Minute and a half of use, so that's kind of annoying actually. I think I'm going to have to get these battery packs rebuilt. Fortunately, I think I know where I can get those done, so there you go. That'll have to be a thing that happens. You can see the boot process is not all too fast anyways. Maybe I turn off the LCD monitor if I have And it looks like I'm running out of space on my tape as well, so I'm going to have to get another tape. Things are working real well in my favor, aren't they? Alright, so it appeared as though there was a little bit of space left on the tape, so I'm going to go for it. But I have another tape on standby, so just in case it doesn't actually end up working out in my favor in such a way. I did have audio, but I think I turned it off. So we'll have to turn that back on. I have it connected to my wireless network now. And I just finished installing all of the updates that I said already. Now I need to go and change the system registration. That's an important thing that needs to be done. Alright, so these are the current values. If you're wondering how to change this yourself, you have to go into the registry and do it. Where's the mouse? I can't see the mouse. I'm actually using the viewfinder because it seems to have less of a drain on the battery than does the LCD monitor. Not that it would probably matter because none of these batteries are particularly good. I think my tape is getting ready to run out here because I just gained a little bit of battery time. But anyways, it's under HQ Local Machine, Software, Microsoft, Windows NT, current version. That's where we're at right now. And we can just go in and change the registered owners here. Registered owner to me. And I'll change the registered organization to, oh, I don't know, low-end radio. It sounds as good as anything else. So, see that all those changes have been made. I believe that you need to reboot the system as well. Or maybe you don't. I don't know. We'll check it. We'll check it here in just a moment. Go to properties. Nope. No reboot is required. And values have been successfully changed. That's just the way that I like it. Okay, so I changed cassette tapes, or actually VHS-C tapes, not really cassettes. They're video cassettes, but anyways. And I also changed to using the power supply because I have gotten tired of changing batteries every 2 minutes. So, where are we at now? Well, we've got Adobe Acrobat Reader 9. And there are a couple of pieces of software on here, such as WinRAR, which might work. Should be installed for all users. Yeah, it looks like it's there, so. Anyways, that's all installed. WinRAR, Silverlight, blah blah blah, all of that stuff. The updates are all installed. But we are going to put a decent browser on this system. Now, for those of you who understand my computer history, I started off with the Lynx web browser running on a PCXT and MS-DOS. This was in 2000, or thereabouts, and that was when I got my first internet connection, which was 14.4K dial-up. Fun times! I then graduated to using Netscape 3, I think it was Netscape 3. Then I sort of moved over to Netscape 4, but found that it was crap. So then I moved over to Mozilla, which was out by then. And then, I think then was Firefox. And Firefox took a crap. And I moved to Waterfox first, because it didn't have the Australis user interface. And then that sort of sucked. And then I moved back to Firefox for a bit. Got tired of that. Moved to Pale Moon, which turned into a pile of crap as well. And then moved back to Firefox for a wee bit. And now I am using the SeaMonkey browser. Now, for those of you who don't know what the SeaMonkey browser is, I'm going to go over to its project page here. I can't really type with one hand. Yep. Damn it. That's a spam site. I wouldn't have gotten it right anyways. Oh, seriously? Wow. Yahoo seems to have taken over the computer, I guess. But anyways, the SeaMonkey project is basically that. Pause the video if you want to read it. But either way, all that you really need to know is that it's powered by Mozilla. I'm not sure if it still is a Mozilla-funded project, or if it's now mostly funded by the community. But we'll go ahead and download it. I probably already have it downloaded, but I am not going to take any chances on that. I'm going to save it. Then when I get my NAS up, it's going to get ported over to the NAS. So apparently I don't have a My Downloads folder. I should have one of those, but I guess not. This is going over the computer's wireless network connection. It's only 54 megabits per second. It's a wireless G card, so not terribly fast, but not too slow either. Could certainly be worse. Could be using 10 megabit Ethernet. That's horrible. I do not wish that even on my worst enemy. Of course, that being said, you don't know real slow until you've used 14.4 dial-up on the internet. Oh, that was a not very good experience. I didn't use it very often, and that was the reason why. Okay, so let's go ahead and run it. Familiar installer right off the bat. Okay, and here we go. SeaMonkey Setup Wizard. I assure you I read those license terms very carefully. I always choose custom install, but I don't think it would really matter at all, because there's not really much to customize. It doesn't bundle any crapware along with it or anything like that, like a lot of companies do nowadays. I will never understand why companies like Adobe and Oracle will ever benefit from including crapware with their software. I don't understand it at all. But go ahead and we'll run it here. It'll open eventually, and this is not the kind of system that I would ever use for web browsing on a day-to-day basis. It's just not all fast enough. And here we go. I'm not sure why it would want it to be the default email, but whatever. There we have it. I'm going to open up a new browser tab here. So that way you can see what the tab bar looks like. Really old school. Well, I like old school because it just happens to be the way that I am. And so. And the other thing too is that this browser actually happens to work. Unlike a lot of browsers out there, which are just irritating and crash frequently. That's just annoying. But I can't even remember the last time, I can't remember the last time I've crashed this browser before, so there's one thing. But let me go get the rest of this software installation stuff ready to go here. Alright, so here's what we got. We've got Audacity, we've got CoreTemp, we've got the GIMP, which is an image editing program, we've got my Media Player Codec pack, Notepad++, which I use for editing websites on some of my lesser systems that I don't really think I need the full HTML editor for. It's a SeaMonkey setup program. Image Burn, TeamViewer, and that's Macrium Reflect. That's the installer, and then that zip file is all of the files that are associated with it. So, let's get a move on. Okay, so I'm now installing the Media Player Codec pack over here. Some people are probably going to wonder, oh, why is he installing a Media Player Codec pack? Couldn't you get the same thing by installing something else? Well, yeah, probably, but I like to have the Media Player Codecs here, and guess what? I already had this installer present. So I didn't need to download anything else. Sounds like a good plan to me, doesn't it? And some further information here for the processing. There's our CPU information. There's our GPU, which is not listed in the settings database. DVXA can still be enabled, but will fall back to CPU decode if DVXA is unsupported. Most users prefer not to use DVXA due to driver requirements and compatibility, and 10-bit video will not display when using DXVA. I'm not sure what DXVA actually is, but we are not going to go ahead and enable it. Because that doesn't sound like a good plan to me. Okay, so we're going to set it to same as input. The default is 2.0 channel down mix. I'm not quite sure why they have it set up that way. It should be same as input, as far as I'm concerned. There are a lot of options here. So, it would be wise to not screw around with them. And then we get the final message stating that all installation completed successfully. Some settings may not apply until you may next restart your computer. Alright, let's move on with the other installers here. Alright, here is Core Temp. Now, they actually recently changed their installer. So let's see. I need to install the additional packs. Oh, look at this. It'll focus on it. Build your kingdom with Good Game Empire. Start the game from the icon on your desktop. Nope, that sounds spam to me. So you gotta really be careful these days when you're installing stuff, because you could get junk over here like that. Recommended icons. Yeah, pfft, no. Go ahead and launch it and see what the system says about this. Check for Intel driver updates. Now I'll tell you what, I have never noticed that in this program before. This is apparently a Dothan CPU. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to see an older CPU, but that's certainly okay. It's a Pentium M7 725. Alright. So here's some information. I'm going to configure this. So it starts with Windows, and it starts minimized, and when I close it, it goes to the notification area. Just like that. So now it's in the notification area like it should be. Next is GIMP. This is the GNU Image Manipulation Program. Okay, that looks okay to me. I'm not going to change any associations. I will create a desktop icon for it, and it will go ahead and install, along with what I presume is an advertisement for their website. I'll have a look at this. I just installed the Media Player Codec pack, and now it wants me to install an update. That being said, that was an old installer that I found on my computer. I'll probably take them up on their offer at some point, but for now, no thanks. No, won't disable future update checks. Not yet, anyways. It'll probably tick me off and I will disable it at some point. But, not right now. Alright, so while GIMP is taking forever to install, we're going to go ahead and install Notepad++. If it'll let me install it. Again, I will assure you that I read the license agreement thoroughly. Seems to be okay to me. Create a shortcut on the desktop. It looks like it is actually going to work. While I'm at it, I hate to respond to YouTube boobs, but to the one particular boob who decided to be a moron and left a rather nasty comment on the last video that I shot with this camcorder. Actually, no, it would have been 2 videos ago that I shot with this camcorder. The Wacom Volito 2 video, basically. That's what I'm talking about. Who said that the camera was trash, and that, oh, half the damn video is waiting for you to focus for it. I'm shooting this particular video right now with that same camera. And if we take a look here, it is not having too much trouble focusing. So where's your ill-conceived notion that it's trash now? I don't think they'll be able to respond to the video because I banned them, but never you mind that. It certainly felt good to be able to respond to that certain YouTube boob who's got no idea how the real world actually works. Okay, let's move on to image burn. GIMP is still taking forever over here to install. Well, I'm not sure if it just tried to come up there and failed or what. Okay, that's interesting. Never seen that before. Again, I definitely read the license terms carefully. I'm surprised there were no additional things that it wanted me to install. Usually there are like a billion of them. Look at this. It's now trying to open up a page successful notification, and it looks like it's failing to do so. Or just taking forever because I've got GIMP installing in the background as well, which is still not finished for some reason. Not sure why. It usually doesn't take that long. Okay, so if it is going to open it, it's really delayed in doing so, but that's complete now. I'm going to run the TeamViewer setup off camera because I think it might show an install ID and I don't really want to give that away. So we'll install Macrium Reflect right now. But I don't believe you need to see that because the majority of that's just uninteresting. So. And yes, before anybody says anything, this is an older version of Macrium Reflect. I am aware of this. I'm intentionally running an older version because I think that the new version has a crappy user interface. And it works fine. So don't tell me what I can run on my system. I don't appreciate it. Alright, that is pretty much going to do it for the video now. Finally, everything is installed appropriately the way that it should be. So, that's going to do it. Thank you for watching. If you've got any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. I hope to see you next time. The other things I might do to this system before I end here is I might change the theme, but that's really not all that interesting. So, till next time, folks. The R50e will be going into assembly. Probably for a while. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the system yet. Still got a kick out of that rude comment that boob left me. Oh man, it's not even founded upon any possible evidence. Just being rude because they thought they could be rude. It only takes a few idiots to ruin somebody's outlook on the world.